Yeah, good. All good.
We've got 2.5 weeks, Kate. We can do this.
Yes, we can. It'll be great. Okay. So the case study is service delivery and risk management case study. And it says, on a Saturday, you are at home taking care of home and family when your cell phone rings. You pick up the phone and hear the voice of the recreation therapist who is working the Saturday shift. She lets you know that there has been an accident. The children's mental health group was playing soccer, and one of the children fell into a 6-inch deep hole and was being transported to the hospital with broken femur. You are upset. You had walked the field on several occasions and reported the issue to the grounds maintenance. You had instructed staff to place cones around any holes in the ground when utilizing the field. The public also used the fields, and on multiple occasions, customers had brought this issue to your attention, and you had forwarded this information to your administrators. In many ways, this was a preventable accident. You know this. So, now that we've reviewed that, we can go over the questions.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I guess I will read question number 1. And it says, what are the areas the manager should have addressed for service delivery?
Okay. What do you think?
Well, I'm just looking over this again. Do you have any ideas while I'm just looking over this really fast?
Yeah. I feel like areas that should be addressed are the fact that they, as a person, had made sure that they reported it. I'd be wanting to look over any phone records and any written emails, etc., because she should have something on file.
Yeah.
Just so that she's not charged with anything.
Yeah.
And then she'd need to approach the administration and let them know, I have this evidence that I've talked to you about this, and this still didn't get fixed, and this is the issue that we have. So at this point, because it was your responsibility and you were informed, you need to think about what you want to do concerning this. Like, not trying to like overstep bounds or anything, but letting them know what the deal is. Because the thing is that if they were to try and go in court and be like, oh, this isn't our fault, like they made a mistake, then we would need to be honest and come forward and say, these are the files we have in which we knew about this and we informed them. And because they are in charge of this and they were informed but didn't take care of it, any actions that happen to our clients that we can do our best will be in their charge to take care of or to fix.
I agree. And I was just looking back at it, and it says that this person that was working, it didn't say if they were a CTRS or anything, but it said that they walked the field on several occasions and reported the issue. I'm assuming they reported it more than once. And then it also says that other staff and other people who utilized the field reported it as well. And so I'm willing to bet that if all of those people were saying like there are holes that need to be filled or put cones or do something, then that's going to build some sort of case if they go into that, because there are all these reports from different sources and it never got fixed. So that's sad. Poor kid.
I agree. So I think an area that you'd want to address as well would be lack of, I don't know, acceptance, or like they don't have proper reporting. Because even if you report, proper reporting means that higher administration accepts that and then moves forward to fix it. And so what I would want to ask is be like, okay, so we talked to you about this. Did you just forget about it? And if they said yes, then I'd say, okay, what kind of form do you want us to fill out so that then you have it on file, whether electronic or in paper, so that you can't forget about it. If they did remember, but they just didn't think it was that big of an issue, then we want to get retraining and proper risk management for our facility. And if it wasn't the risk management issue, it's just we didn't have like a plan. They recognize that it's a big deal, but they didn't really know how to go about it.
Mhm.
then we need to put a better plan in our WPO. So those would be the three areas I think that we'd address, is either training, a better plan in our WPO, or the initial form, like how do we report near misses or incidents essentially to our higher administration so they don't forget.
Yeah, I think if they did that, that would narrow. It seems like, to me, it sounds like there's sort of communication gap there. And if everybody was more on the same page with, okay, if there's a problem, you fill it out on this form versus just sending an email because emails get lost, then everybody would be more on the same page and communication would be a lot better. And maybe also the other thing I was thinking was maybe they didn't, like the people that were in charge of trying to fix the field when the first few reports came in, maybe they weren't really analyzing risk management very well, obviously, because I think that if they would have known that a child was been seriously hurt, they would have gotten right on it to fix the problem, you know? And so I think maybe, like you said, fixing their WPO a little bit, maybe they should have emphasized a little bit more about risk management with things like that.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, how can the manager better evaluate the services offered? Do you feel?
Sorry, just pulling that one back up. Okay, I think that the manager could better evaluate the services, maybe by posting some sort of evaluation at the end with like constructive criticism, like what could we do better for next time. I heard a quote, I think it was at the conference, that talked about the best programs are the ones that are constantly trying to improve upon what they've already done. And I think that that would be a huge asset to this this facility, or not facility, but this group, this organization, is that if they're constantly trying to improve, it will better the services. And so to me, it seems like that would be a good way to go about it, is some sort of evaluation at the end for everybody to fill out.
I agree.
Anything else on that one?
Well, you were specific in that you said the manager can better evaluate the services offered by providing like an evaluation form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of wondering if besides a regular evaluation form, I almost feel like they should make evaluation forms for each type of program they offer in the TR field. Kind of like if you have a waiver. I know here at school, depending on whatever activity you're in, there's a different waiver for each activity.
Yeah.
So that you receive proper informed consent and an acknowledgement of the risks, and then you can know what you're agreeing to. And so I feel like to add to that, just briefly, would be to make different evaluations for different programs.
Excellent. I think that's a great idea. And I think if that isn't something they utilized, I think they definitely should be specific in their evaluations. And I think that the more specific they are with their evaluations, the better results, the more like accurate they'll get, you know, on things they can fix. So very good. I like that answer. That was awesome. Okay. And do you want me to read question number 3 now?
Go for it.
All right. So question number 3 is, how could creating a service delivery plan prevent negligence and malpractice? What do you think about that one?
I feel like hands down, whenever you create a set plan to follow through, then you can make changes as necessary when circumstances arise. But with a plan, you are prepared. Like, you've thought about it, you're following your budget, you are properly utilizing resources. And so if you are aware that there are near misses possibly, or of past accidents, etc., and you've created a plan based around that in order to prevent the negligence and malpractice, you are not likely to have that as an issue unless it's something entirely new, which then you can learn and address, so then it's not an issue the next time. So a plan is what helps everybody be on the same page, know what they're doing, be well trained, And so there can't be negligence because it's not like they don't know. And there can't be malpractice because they are aware of the reason why they should be practicing a specific way.
I agree totally. And it kind of brings me back to the WPO that we've been working on and how like specific that is, because I guess I didn't really realize just how much has to go into creating a program and just how many things you need to list. And so I feel like when you have that plan as like to fall back on or to reference to, it gives the policies and procedures that you need to know and you need to follow. And that's really helpful with everything, you know. And I feel like a service delivery plan would help with that, because that would give them something to reference back to, especially if any problems were to arise. And it would help them think about situations that they might not think about otherwise, and then how they would solve those problems. I feel like that's kind of what the WPO has taught me, especially this semester. It's like I never really thought about a policy and a procedure for sharps on a unit, but now that I've been writing about it, it makes so much sense. And I'm like, holy cow, this is a real thing and this could be really dangerous. And it's a good thing we've got a policy and a procedure on that, because holy smokes, you know? And so I feel like having that plan to fall back on is really helpful, and it gives strength to an organization.
I agree. I agree a lot. Well, is there anything else that we want to approach or go over?
Not really anything that I can think of, but what would you do if you were in this situation? I don't know, it's kind of a big question.
It's a good one, and it's worth answering. I wanted to stop and pause, I think, really to consider exactly what I would do as a person. Having said something, I'm very proactive, and knowing that something happened to them, I would be honest, and I would take the time to go and make sure that they're doing okay and so on. And when the parents would come and ask me like what happened and why this issue occurred, I would be honest about the fact that I knew about the situation and knew about the things that were happening out there. I'd informed administration of it, and multiple other people had as well, because the issue had happened to them. And that because of that, if they needed to file a lawsuit, that I would be honest and I would just tell the truth, not siding with any side, just following my ethical
Just very matter-of-factly telling what, yeah.
Because I feel like that. If you really care about your company, then you're going to want them to improve so that they ultimately make more business, improve more people's lives, and can make a profit if they want to. But if you don't ever remind them of the things that they're responsible for, they're never going to get better.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think I would do the same thing, and I'd want to, like you said, to improve the organization. I'd want to implement some sort of service delivery plan to be able to fall back on, and just get rid of any sort of malpractice that could happen. And I like the idea of everybody being on the same page, and if there's a hole, we fill out a very specific form that talks about this hole is dangerous and we need to get it filled in and this and that. And so it's just very to the point and very good, and it's not just an email that's kind of general that talks about 30 things that's confusing. So
I agree. Well,
so,
thank you very much for discussing this with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
You as well. We'll see you later.
Indeed. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
You too. See ya. Bye.
Bye.